Hello. Day 2. I am so proud of myself doing a second video in 2 days. I am trying so hard to stop saying I feel like I say it all the time in these videos. I am a thinker, I'm a processor, I'm always thinking and processing. So me saying for me is not a lack of confidence or, not knowing what to say. I'm just always thinking. Sometimes overthinking. So when I say it's like, how do I want to word this? Are you wording it right? Because I'm just shooting. I don't have anything written down. I'm just shooting. So I'm trying not to say tonight. Well, let me say this first. I have always wanted to be a bartender. I don't know why. I've never done it. See, I just said it. But for some reason in my mind, I feel like it would be so fun and I feel like I would be so good at it. And I feel like I would get great tips. I feel like I'd make some good money doing that. But at the time, when I really was interested in trying to pursue it, the guy I was dating was like, no, absolutely not. He said only a certain type of women do those jobs, which I found to be offensive. But I get what he was saying, depending on where it's at. So I never pushed it because out of respect for my relationship and respect of what was being said at the time. It's still something I'd be interested in doing, just kind of like a bucket list thing, I don't know. But just a random, woulda, shoulda, coulda, maybe type of thing. So tonight, I started like experimenting with mixing stuff. I am drinking Jameson with, this says Simple Paloma. I don't know how well you can see that. But this is a grapefruit and key lime juice cocktail blend. It's really good. It's not super sweet at all. And I mixed it with some Jameson. And I put a splash of bitters in there. It's really good. And I love cherries in drinks. Especially after they've had time to absorb the alcohol. They're so good. But anyway, I kind of like what I did last night with this card game here. It's Tonight Let's Talk, the card game. And the series that I have is the relationship debate series. Now, what I did not do is set aside the cards with questions that I pulled last night. So hopefully I won't pull the same one again. If I do, obviously I'm gonna put it back and pull for another one. So here we go. First question. Your significant other gets their dream job in a city far away. You do not want to move. They take the job and move. Does this mean they value their new job over their relationship? Explain. That's a little complicated. It's a little complicated. I feel like it depends on the situation. How long you have been together. How vested are you in the relationship? Did you all decide to take this, to move away jointly? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this person go ahead, take the job. Let's see how it goes. And then maybe I come later. Like, well, it just depends. I'll share a personal story. I was in a relationship and things were going really well for me with my career. And it just so happened that my significant other had a failed business venture. And my career was doing the exact opposite. So the roles kind of became reversed. I'm not one to turn my back on somebody when they're going down. Prior to that, I didn't have to worry about anything. So I would never turn my back on somebody because things didn't go that way. I got a great job opportunity to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was making really good. It was a great job offer. So I just decided to take the job offer. And there were some other things going on. And I said, listen, I really want you to come, but if you come, this needs to happen so we don't run into this situation anymore. And initially things went kind of well. And then they started going bad. He was having problems in his particular field. He was great at what he did, but there were racial conflicts, some discrimination things going on with him, and they were legit. And he kind of got into this funk and couldn't get out of it. In the meantime, I was bearing the brunt of everything, mostly financial, and he kind of got stuck in this rut and couldn't get out of it. In hindsight, I wish I had been more supportive. Usually I was holding everything down. I wasn't very emotionally supportive at all. That's one thing that I would change. But also, he made it very difficult for me to be emotionally supportive. So, here's the thing. When you're moving to a new place, when you don't know anybody or anything that's solely based on a job, it can be hard, no matter how good the job is going. You still have your friends, you have your family, you have this network where you're used to being at, whether you realize it or not. It can be a network as simple as the car dealership you go to get your repairs done at, the barbershop you go to, or the hair salon you go to, or your nail people, or I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. When you go to another area, you got to rebuild and reestablish all of that. And then there are other things that may contribute to it. I had one girlfriend, she moved all the way to Alaska. She moved to Alaska with her husband. There were no stores out there that had black hair products. So she literally had to get family to ship things over there like that. There weren't too many social spaces for black people. So they had to adjust to that. And these things might seem small, but they can become big when you're in a foreign place, a foreign environment. So it's very important for all of that to be considered before you move. And you need to try to think about worst case scenario. Like, what does this look like if this does not work out? Because it's hard. It could be very, very hard. So I don't know if it's fair to ask, does that mean your job is more important than relationships? Because I think a lot of people do that without realizing just how impacted they may be from the move. So I don't know if I really answered that question, but I think what definitely should be clear is people need to do their research. They need to research. Talk to other people that have been in that situation and have done those things, get advice so they can know and understand the different type of adversities they might have to deal with when making that type of move. So yeah, that's all I'll say about that one. Next question. Your significant other tells you that they were as close as possible to physically cheating, but thought of you and came home. What's the first thing you say to them? I'm laughing because, I mean, who does this? Who comes home and says, I almost cheated on you today, but I thought about it and I decided to come home to you. That's a doozy. I think I would try to remain calm and I would give my undivided attention. I would ask a lot of questions. What's the situation? Who's the person? Why do you feel that way? Do you feel like it's something that we're lacking? Is there something I need to improve on? Is there something you need to improve on? Because that's not good. It's just not. So, especially if they're bold enough to come home and tell you that. Like, that is not good. In a way, it could be looked at as good because they're willing to come on and talk to you. Obviously, there's a problem. But it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how I feel about that one. Question number 3. Your parents say that they will disown you if you continue to date your significant other. Would you continue the relationship? This is a very tough question for me to answer because I have very supportive parents. I have been in situations, in relationships with people that I didn't necessarily approve of, but it wasn't a situation where it was toxic or there were concerns with regards to my mental or physical health or even necessarily about financial, it having a negative financial impact on me. So it's hard for me to answer that. But I guess I would say if my parents went to that extreme with me to say they were willing to disown me, I think I would try to take a deeper look at, they must be seeing something that I'm not able to see. So I would really try to listen and take in what they're saying to me, because 9 times out of 10 it's probably something I couldn't see. I've talked about age gap dating a little bit before. I think the video's still up. I had to delete like 5 videos because of copyright. But I did a video on age gap dating. And I've dated someone that was significantly older than me for a very long time. And it pretty much, I don't know. I don't regret the relationship because I learned so much from it. But my mother told me I was in over my head. And I was like, what are you talking about? I know what I'm doing. And of course, hindsight 2020, I really was in over my head. I think 10 and 10. There shouldn't be no older than 10, no younger than 10. That's me. But that's my opinion based on my personal experience. But that's the only situation where I've had where my parents was like, what are you doing? But it's a relationship that I absolutely do not regret. I learned so much. And not just with regards to relationships, but I like how to start businesses, how to get what you want. It was just, I learned so much. So that to me was, there's no price on that. Next question. Your friend with benefits arrives at your house unannounced. They text, I'm outside, and you are in bed with the person you hope will become your significant other. What do you do? This is what we should not do. This is playing games and it's dangerous. I know it's hard, especially in this day and time, to stay focused on one person. People have relationship ADHD, like it's crazy. And I'm like, people act like diseases and all this other stuff doesn't exist. They absolutely do. I feel like you should, if you're gonna date. And you need to be very upfront. I like you, but I like you, I wish, I like you, this is what I want. You know, is this a possibility? All this floating around with this and that, it's too much. It's too much. I think you need to focus on one person. It's either gonna work or it's not, and you move on. All this mixing up and in between, that's how stuff gets started. So, and I'm gonna tell you something, domestic issues are the worst. You can talk to any police officer in any department. Those domestic calls are the worst. And you just never know what's going on in somebody's mind when it comes to mixing up and doing stuff like that. So I say, don't even do that. Don't put yourself in that situation. One at a time. Either it's gonna work or it's not. And you just have to really be honest. Sorry, I think my skin is peeling. Next question. After 20 years of marriage, your spouse says they are attracted to the same sex and want to explore that with you. What happens next? If I don't end up in prison, there would absolutely be a divorce expedited. I'm not even going to elaborate on that because that's not even funny. Okay, next question. If you go through your significant other's phone and don't find anything incriminating, would you tell them why or why not? Why would you go through your significant other's phone? I don't understand that. If you don't trust the person, don't be with them. Why you gotta go to their phone? Are you paying the bill? Or is that person, like, I don't get that. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? If you don't trust the person, leave alone. Next question. You're in an official relationship with a person, but they repeatedly introduce you as their friend while at a holiday family gathering. Really kind of funny. But basically, you're in an official relationship with a person, but they repeatedly introduce you as their friend while at holiday family gathering. Would this bother you? Explain. It depends on the situation. I mean, personally, I feel like you're not engaged, you're not married. Yeah, if you're involved, especially intimately, you're more than a friend. But, I mean, does the family need to know that? Like I don't know. So if it's something that bothers you, you need to ask some questions. You need to figure out, like, what that means and why. And explain why that makes you feel the way you feel. And that just solves that. You might get an answer you don't want, but, I mean, the truth is always better than a lie or for you to sit here and create your own story. Next question. These are kind of a little bit more intense today than the ones I picked yesterday. Okay. It says a woman agrees to forgive her cheating significant other under the condition that she gets a free pass to have sex with a person of her choosing. He is furious at the suggestion. Does he have a valid reason to be upset? Yes, he does. It's tit for tat. If you feel the need to do that, you haven't forgiven him. And you need to move on, and so does he. Two wrongs do not make a right. So yeah, I mean, that's petty and childish, and it's not going to solve the problem. It will probably, I say there's a 99% chance it's going to make it worse. Someone's always bigger and better. And I'll leave it at that. And this is going to be my last question. I'm trying to keep it at 15 minutes. A woman confesses to her significant other that she gave a coworker oral sex. Really? He feels that's worse than cheating because she didn't get anything in return. Does he have a point? Explain. He does have a point, but they absolutely need to part ways. This is some foolishness. And it's so disrespectful. It's just, it's crazy. He absolutely has a right to be upset. And I think he's right in feeling that it's worse. Absolutely. Yeah. And if I was him, I wouldn't even ask questions. I'd be like, especially for a dude, like, y'all don't have the odds for you all finding a woman is so much higher than a woman finding a man. You know, the quality of the woman is something different, but that's another story. Yep. Okay, so those are the questions for tonight. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it's not too boring. I'm almost scared to play music because I don't want to get copyright strike. But I don't know. I'll see what I can do. Anyway, ciao. Have a great night.